Welcome to Bhutan, the land of the Thunder Dragon, a country unlike anywhere else in the world. Nestled in the eastern Himalayas between India and China, Bhutan is a place where the air feels lighter, time moves slower, and happiness isn't just a dream, it's a government policy. I'm Christopher Andrus, and this is a journey through a country that forever changes the way you see the world and yourself. How does one get to Bhutan? Join me as we explore this karma kingdom and celebrate the adventure. Bhutan is one of the last remaining Himalayan kingdoms where tradition isn't just preserved, it's lived every day. People here wear the national dress, speak Dzongkha, and greet you with a kindness that feels completely unforced. There's a spiritual rhythm that flows through everything. With incredible monasteries perched on cliffs, prayer flags dancing in the wind, and a sense that the sacred is never far away. Our local guides, who quickly became our friends, led us through remote mountain passes, welcomed us into their homes, and made sure every detail of our journey was infused with care. You don't just visit Bhutan, you feel it. Bhutan is more than postcard views, though. There's no shortage of those. It's a place where wild landscapes still dominate. Over 70% of the country is covered in forest, and it's the only carbon-negative country on the planet. Think about that. Bhutan absorbs more carbon than it produces. Trekking here isn't about racing to the summit. It's about slowing down and soaking in the silence of the mountains. Every trek felt sacred. We walked through ancient rhododendron forests, over hanging bridges, and slept beneath a canopy of Himalayan stars. No phone signal. No distractions. Just yak bells in the distance. And a kind of peace I didn't realize I was missing. We hiked not to conquer summits, but to surrender to the silence. For a photographer, this is a dreamscape. The light here, it doesn't just hit the mountains. It wraps them soft, golden, timeless. But more than the landscapes, it's the people. Their faces hold stories. Their stillness speaks louder than words. One of my favorite frames is the appreciation of all that I around and how the simplest of everyday life is shared among how to improve your golf game with the Himalayas rising behind me. Or just the simple quiet beauty of watching the locals connect with the displace. In that moment, I didn't need to press the shutter. I just needed to breathe it in. There are places that impress you, and then there are places that change you. Bhutan does both. You don't come here to collect stamps and a passport. You come to lose your sense of rush, to feel the sacred in the everyday. I left Bhutan with more than photographs. I left with a deeper stillness and a sharper eye for the beauty that exists quietly all around us. Thank you for joining me on this journey. May these images and stories carry you somewhere still, somewhere wild.